Fuck Jarvis, honestly. He plans on obliterating me. His parents planned to have a kid that was worth a shit and wasn't an absolute disappointment, and they couldn't get that done.
Hey guys, welcome to Muscle Memory. My name's Malcolm, and we have another special guest. He's gonna be the main event of Misfits X Series. It's gonna be your call. London, England's fighting for the Misfits Welterweight Championship. He wants to be a champion because he's BDave. How are you, man?
I'm good, man. I'm golden, feeling like $1,000,000 could be worse. I could be the other guy who's about to get knocked out in a week or so here, but I'm not, thankfully. Thank God. I thank him every day for it, and I'm me. Chilling.
There it is. Yeah, man. I mean, you're built like a unit, man. So, like, how's training coming along for you?
It's good, bro. I've cut a lot of weight in the last few weeks. So I'm down to about 160 flat. I'm usually walking around like 175, 176, usually a little north of 175. So getting down to 155 is pretty light. But to be honest, I've got fat to lose, and I feel like I haven't lost anything, any power, nothing with that weight being gone.
There you go. I feel like a lot of like the public opinion on you. This is not my opinion, but a lot of people are calling you like the underdog. Someone said it was like a no-brainer who's winning this fight. What's your thoughts on like when people say that kind of stuff about this fight between you and Jarvis? So like, do you actually, in your mind, how do you view yourself going against Jarvis?
See, if the question is about the people that are talking about this, I'm gonna steal a line from my friend Dean and say, see, the problem with people these days is a lot of people are on drugs. Okay. And drugs are really affecting our community, our youth, just all the fuckers around the world, they're all fucked up on drugs. And not that I'm any different, I'm fucked up on drugs myself, but yeah, so people just be smoking crack and dick and shit, and they don't really know what's going on. But let me tell you something, Jarvis is getting smashed up. He's a worthy opponent. I'm not underestimating him by any means. I know he's tough. I know he's down to bang, and I know that he has a little bit more credible of a record than me, but I smash him anyways.
This is your second time headlining a Misfits event. Do you feel any like different kind of pressure going into this fight being like a one-on-one versus like the survival tag match?
I say I felt a lot more pressure for the survivor tag match just because different time, different headspace that I was in at the time. Wasn't really confident in myself back then. Didn't feel like I was getting as much progress in the gym as I wanted to, which I learned right after that fight. It was my fault. I had been fucking up in the gym, and I had been like not necessarily putting enough effort. Training just one time a day, going to the gym isn't enough. You gotta put in that extra work, put in the extra mile, do homework, all types of shit like that. And I feel like that's what I learned after that fight, and picked up the training, really started taking it seriously. So in return, obviously my coach started really taking me seriously and really putting the time in with me, day in, day out, middle of the day, come in to spar people because that's when they have time. So I'd train in the morning, come in and spar those people midday or whatever. He'd make sure he's there for it, like really started putting the time with me. And I feel like you could see a big transformation from the Survivor tag to the damn tag team match on the Prime card. And it was only a couple month difference. There was a big difference in my boxing, I'd say.
I feel like you're a big like company guy. Like everyone really knows it, like BDave from like being that guy that's in Misfits boxing. He's always willing to take a fight. What's like your journey into joining Misfits boxing?
Yeah, man, I was like really wanting to be a YouTuber for a long time. Had some success on TikTok back in the day and stuff. TikTok's kind of small potatoes, but oh, this is gonna explode. I just dropped this.
Is that a Prime?
Yeah.
Okay.
I drink one of these a day. They're fucking crack. But I was part of a couple of groups, I guess you could say, on YouTube. I was in Bryce Hall's vlogs for like a couple of years, Taylor Holder's vlogs, and even like Josh Richards. They're just like TikTok boys that made YouTube channels and shit. Some of my friends back in the day. Taylor still being like probably my best friend. The rest of them I don't really talk too much, but yeah, being around that whole time period of TikToker, houses, Hype House, those people, everything like that. That was a whole time on the internet. And now I feel like transitioned more into streaming and influencer boxing. I feel like are two of the biggest things going on right now, but I'm just running off on a tangent. But yeah, I was doing YouTube and stuff like that with my friends beforehand. I was pretty well known from Bryce's vlogs. Like we're posting like 2-3 videos a week on his channel, and probably doing like 2 to 4 million views a video on them. So for like a year or so. We were popping back then. He was.
Sure, for sure. Would you ever be interested in fighting Bryce? I feel like that's been asked to you a few times before, but like maybe now, like looking at your career, like has it progressed at this point? Like would you ever consider getting in the ring with him, or are you kind of past that now?
I'd love to. I'd be super down. Uh, I'd even figure out the weight situation. Obviously, me now fighting at 155. I've lost a lot of weight the right way. I'm eating probably about 2,000 calories a day, and I'm still staying at like 161, 162. So like I'm naturally being that light now. Bryce is probably like 180. So quite a big difference there, especially. Yeah, definitely a big difference. But I'm down. I'll make the weight happen, whatever it has to be.
Would you do in bare knuckle?
That's sketchy, but sure. I mean, fuck it.
For sure, for sure. You recently mentioned your like personal thoughts on Deji. He had like he was like very nice to you one place, and then on a podcast he had something to say about you. What would you ever get in a ring with him? Like, is that a guy like you're looking forward to maybe stepping in the ring with, or you maybe not?
Yeah, 100%, man. Fuck Deji. I'll fuck him up. Deji's definitely a tough fight. Perhaps a little bit out of my skill class in boxing, but I'm always down for a challenge. I'd take it, train my ass off for it, put in more work than he does, and beat him.
What's your honest thoughts about Deji as like a boxer and as a person?
Yeah, he seems like a sweet kid or whatever. I just obviously didn't like that he had like negative things to say about me publicly when, he'd always been nice to me. I'd always been nice to him. Not that we'd had a load of interactions, but he's always nice to me. I was always nice to him. But yeah, as far as boxing goes, I will tell him that it took him a long time to figure this shit out. It took me a while too, like to figure out how to start progressing in boxing and actually getting better, because like for the first 2 or 3 years of influencer boxing, he was the worst influencer boxer on the planet. If you wanted to go win, you wanted to go beat someone, go fight Deji's fat ass, and you'll just maul right through him. Yeah. But now, he picked up a bit of skill. Nothing. He looks good. I'll give him that. He definitely looks good. And this is no disrespect to Fuzi or Swarms, but the time that they've spent in the gym is not comparable to the time that Deji spent in the gym. Swarms was fighting for like 7 months, I think, 7-8 months when he fought Deji. Deji been fighting for like 4 years. Like Swarms is good. He's a very worthy opponent in my opinion, but like it's like why the pros don't fight the YouTubers. It's like different experience levels. You can't just make up for time too much.
In your opinion, who's the worst influencer boxer right now?
You can't count people who just come in and fight one time. Because if you were to say that, you'd say like the two big fellas that fought each other there on KSI card.
Yeah.
But if you're talking about people who like fight regularly, I don't know, dude. There's a lot of people with a tough history in their fights. Like, for instance, like I rate DK Money. I think he's very good, but he's gotten fucked up in a lot of his fights. Even that last fight he was winning, he just got an unlucky shot and that was it for him. Ginty, I rate Ginty as well. I don't think he's dog shit, but he's had a couple bad fights. Even the ones that he's won haven't been like great performances by any means. And then obviously he got flogged by Temper, which the skill level was a bit different there. You could tell because I think Temper trained like it was for the Olympics, and Ginty just I know Ginty trained hard too, but yeah, maybe. Fuck, I hate talking shit about people who are nice. Probably me.
You're gonna say you? That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, NichLmao.
I was gonna mention him. I know at one point there was supposed to be like a one-on-one rematch. I know you guys wanted to face each other, but it seemed like Nick might have pulled out of that like idea of fighting you. Is that something that that you would want to revisit one day, or you're kind of like?
Yeah, I wanted to fight him on this card here coming up, real bad. I had some fire up under me for him, but I just used that fire to train for Jarvis, I guess. But I asked, will he do it? Will he do it? Like, oh, Nick's injured, so I guess I must have blown his back out when I fought him there in Manchester. He can't fight, or won't fight, or is scared of BDave, or whatever the fuck it is. He's not fighting me now, and but he'll get his day will come, his judgment day, the reckoning. He's gonna get fucked up. I'm gonna fuck Nick up. I might even fuck Nick.
You can do whatever you feel like, man. I'm not going to stop you at all. And I think people will still watch it on pay-per-view as well. So Do whatever you need to do. Talking about your training though, how do you feel like you're training differently for like this fight against Jarvis versus maybe your tag team match last time at a Prime Card?
I wouldn't say I'm training that much different. I think we always train, except for maybe a very small portion of training before tag team is specifically on tag team, but we kind of always train for one person. Like when I'm sparring, I'm not able to tag out. You know, I'm in there for 6-7 rounds, whatever, with like 3 different guys who are rotating, and I have to fight all 3 of them a lot of days. So we're always training for me to be the fighter anyway.
That's totally fair. There's like a lot of rumors going around that Misfits might start like an MMA version of like their fighting cards. Would you ever be interested in fighting on the MMA side of a Misfits event?
I feel like MMA is a lot of new skill sets for me to learn. It's already taken me so long to learn this much about boxing, and I've only cracked the surface, that I couldn't imagine having to learn elbows, knees, defending elbows, knees, kicks, fucking whatever else you can do, wrestling. Yeah. I couldn't imagine learning wrestling. That shit looks tough. And I always get my ass fucked up by my friends when we wrestle, so I'm probably not that good at it naturally. But yeah, I mean, fuck it, if it's NichLmao.
You would fight him in a Misfits MMA event.
Where I come out of the corner like Jorge Masvidal, throw that knee up to his chin.
Oof.
Call it a day. Get out of there quick. Oh, I would fight Nick, yeah, in MMA. That'd be crazy.
I saw recently on Twitter someone had mentioned they would like to see you like move over to pro wrestling. This show we actually interview a lot of pro wrestlers. Would you ever be like, if the offer was on the table from a WWE or an AEW, would you ever consider going to like professional
that
wrestling?
Type of wrestling? I've never watched WWE before. It's just not something we were into as kids or even were exposed to. But yeah, that'd be fire. That's like a whole show. I don't know if I'm athletic enough for it. You see the way Logan be flying around the place like he's got wings or something? Like, fucking hell.
Yeah, he was definitely very athletic in that match. But I feel like your personality can like make up for like maybe an athletic difference between like a Logan Paul or yourself or whatever. Like, I feel like you and pro wrestling definitely work.
Yeah,
definitely a market for it. As we started to wrap this up, I want to talk about like Jarvis. He actually mentioned, I spoke to him recently or earlier today. He said that he plans on completely like obliterating you during this fight. What's your like final message to Jarvis if he's watching this?
Fuck Jarvis, honestly. He plans on obliterating me. Well, his parents planned to have a kid that was worth a shit and wasn't an absolute disappointment, and they couldn't get that done. He plans to knock me out. I'm gonna fuck him up. He's a disgrace. He's a cocksucker. I'm about to ruin all his plans for his future career. He can eat my cock, eat my ass. I'm gonna fuck him in the ring. I'm gonna have sex with him.
Yeah, okay. That was an answer that I was definitely expecting you to say, but all right, cool. BDave, where can I find you on social media if they're not already following you?
It's like BDave. It's just on Instagram. It's got 2 V's. I like Twitch streaming. BDave streams on Twitch and just BDave on YouTube.
Amazing. BDave, thank you so much for your time. Guys, Misfits 011 is going to be at York Hall, London, England, on the Zone. You can watch it, stream it. My name's Malcolm. This is BDave. This is Muscle Memory, and that is a wonderful background you have right there.
What the fuck? This new iPhone's fucking weird.
That was so cool. Wow. I'm shocked. We're out.